I live in sincere gratitude because I understand that today is not promised. Each and every day, each and every breath is a gift from God. And what we do with that gift is we give back to Him what always has been His. So this offering of service, whether it be communal, whether it be education, whether it be through the service of the Diocese or CPLC, we rise up as the children of God to stand up for life.
How do we best preach the gospel in the culture of our day? How do we best make that known in a culture where the gospel is unknown or that it's maybe hostile to it?
The other side has changed, so yes, we have to respond. They're very engaged, they are very fired up, and they have a lot of help from the mainstream media, and it's going to take all of us combating that. We don't have a way into the hearts of the mainstream media the way the other side does. But what we've always done well is talk to people through our churches and in our small groups and small little communities and networks.
Where post-Roe United States has changed the game, asked new questions. CPLC standing up and saying, we're ready and we're moving forward is a great model to imitate.
The CPLC has always been very good at that and really developed a lot of support through their parishes. But they also are doing such wonderful work through the Gabriel Angels and the St. Joseph Project and the GEMS program.
These ministries have the ways, especially of the healing ministry, the walking with moms in need, St. Gabriel ministry, really accompanying young women who are pregnant, sometimes their families, kind of on a step-by-step in a very personal way.
Well, before I found out I was pregnant, I was actually homeless. I was staying in a truck, and I remember I was actually having to sleep sitting down because there was a lot of things in the truck. So I was scared. I felt lonely. And I ended up finding out I was pregnant. So I didn't know what I was going to do. So I prayed. And luckily I found the Bella House, the maternity home. And I kept calling to get, an interview and stuff. And they finally gave me one. So when I got accepted, I felt like it was a way of God showing me that, hey, I'm here.
Bella House was started in 2012 as a nonprofit to try to assist moms that were coming from pregnancy resource centers that had nowhere to go. And they come to us sometimes from living in their car, sometimes from, sleeping on someone's couch, kind of, couch surfing, just depends on where they are. Some are living in hotels, and they find us online, typically on, just a Google search. They find Bella House, and they come to us anytime during their pregnancy. And they stay at Bella House during their pregnancy until their babies are 6 months to a year old.
Once I got into the Bella House, I didn't have anything. Like when I first got there, I literally had like 2 bags of clothes, some sandals. I had lost my birth certificate, social security, ID, everything. So I had to start over.
Any support that we can add around them when they leave our program, whether it's CPLC, whether it's, one of our other partners in the pro-life community in Dallas, it's just makes all the difference for them when they leave.
I also work for some of the maternity homes in the community as well. And so as part of that role, I would pick some of the girls up and bring them to GEMS. And Lily was one of the moms. And we used to have conversations about her week and what was going on in her life. And I never really answered her questions. I just made her think about where she wanted to go and how she wanted to get there, and just giving her encouragement, basically.
The great thing is the work of CPLC doesn't end when a baby is born. There's additional supports that they offer, as well as some of the other Catholic pro-life organizations in Dallas.
The reality is that we are working for God. Whatever He wants, we are instruments. And our work is to receive pregnant women in need. They live with us, they stay with us, and they not just receive a house or a bed or food. What we want is them to change their lives and to be positive and knowing that God is with them and they are not going to be alone anymore.
The future of the pro-life movement I see is wrapped in understanding John Paul II's culture of life, and really understanding that the culture of life is not about just an outward activism, but it's about inwardly understanding that everything that we are as human people is sacred.
We thought, my husband and me, that when we opened helping just one mom was going to be something beautiful. We have helped more than 80 moms here in this house and now the second house.
Our work and our ministry is one of a culture of life. It invests in people. It really takes meaningful consideration into their activities and their daily lives and the trajectory.
Right at the center of that gospel is the gospel of life, the gospel of human dignity. And each one of us are created in the image and likeness of God, and how best do we help each person from the very first moment of their existence in the womb until their death? How do we help that person flourish?
We can't tell that we are defending lives if we are not allowing them, these moms, to have options, and this is a good option for them, no?
My hope and my dream is that we are able to celebrate large families, that we're able to assist and help as a church and as a diocesan community, people who are need that assisted, walk with women in need, mothers in need, walk with the families in need, help fathers to be the dads that they are called to be, bring healing to them, and be leaders within our community to galvanize this effort to bring out a culture of life.
I didn't really realize how deep that was in my heart because I was terrified to even look at it. It was something that was in the past, and I believed because it was in the past, there was nothing that I could do about it. I couldn't change it. I couldn't bring Ruth and Naomi back. But despite that, there was still work that the Lord needed to do. And, the Lord, He's done great things for me. He takes all things and works it for good, sometimes even terrible things. He does that for those that love Him, but He does it in His own time. And for me, that time was Project Joseph.
Well, definitely the healing ministry of CPLC, as a priest, I see the need greatly for that. I'm usually one of the first people that someone who is finally saying, I can't handle this burden anymore, I need healing. They'll come to the priest in confession and they'll make a confession, and then I am able to give them guidance, saying, you can receive healing. You can go to a Project Rachel or Project Joseph, a retreat, and you can be able to accept this part of you and be able to move on, forgiving yourself and knowing that your child is in heaven.
Before I went to Project Joseph, there was this thing in me that held me back. It was a wound, quite frankly, that crippled me, and I just didn't understand it. But having gone to Project Joseph and finally seen what it is and drug it out into the light, I've just been changed in a way that is hard to articulate, but beautiful. I've been able to be a kinder man. I've been able to be more thankful for my family and for what I've been given. And I think in that joy, I've been able to talk to some other people and help them see that maybe this is a path that they can follow to get healing and help them be the man that God called them to be, to reach their destiny.
The impact of this is understated. The impact to be able to bring healing to a third of our men and women in our pews who have direct connections with abortion, that is essential to building a culture of life. And CPLC is able to do this in a fantastic way through our healing after abortion ministry.
How can we be unmoved or unchanged when he who became flesh and dwelt among us is incarnated each and every Mass that we attend? How blessed are we who get to partake in the feast that God has prepared. And as we are in a year of revival, revival calls for the death of the status quo. And as we attend Mass to pray each and every day that the author of all life would continue to change and shape our hearts to keep our eyes focused not on that of the world, that which is fading, but rather that which is everlasting, and that is a life in eternity with Him.
The future of this is that we're supporting mothers in need, walking with them, that we are assisting families that are choosing to have life and celebrating that.
Because I work right now in pharmaceuticals, so I'm more in a business environment. And over the last couple years that I've been involved in the Catholic pro-life community, I've realized this gives me more energy and more motivation in my life than my current job. You know, because I just see these girls making such great strides in their life and becoming independent, and that energizes me.
I think there's always that experience of, I did this and I got so much more out of it than I gave.
Just to know that we have your back. We're here for you, and you're not alone.
And there isn't a point at birth, before birth, after birth, that there's a stopping point.
We want to make sure that we didn't just win a battle with the fall of Roe, but we actually are able to maintain our win and win the war.
There's also this opportunity for us to listen for where is the Lord leading us.
When they leave, they are not going to be alone anymore. They are going to feel loved, and not just by us, but by God, no? Who is our boss.
We're still marching, and we will continue to march until abortion is unthinkable. That in this country, the sanctity of life will be upheld at all costs.